Well, so today it's a particularly packed show right here on Sports Ultras on 3FM 92.7. You're welcome to another edition of the show. Your regular host Thierry Nyan is not here. He's on Ghana's strongest duty. And so I've taken the seat. My name is Yao Fosulabi and I'll be bringing you everything, moderating this show just to make sure that you get all the information and everything you need in the world of sports. This weekend has been impressively great when it comes to football. And Spain, winners of the World Cup. England could not get close to it in many ways. We'll be talking the Ghana Football Association elections, the World Athletics Championships. We'll get there. We'll get to some transfer news. But the topical issue, though, for today is the Black Star squad that is yet to be announced. And it's one of the major things that we are going to be looking at today right here on 3Sports Ultras. Right, so my panelists are already seated, and today we have a special guest who has joined us in the studio from Angel Sports. His name is Listowel Mensah. I mean, if you're an ardent sports fan, wherever you listen to football commentary from and you know, proper radio sports commentary when it comes to talking about the issues, Listowel Mensah has made a name for himself and he's joined us today on the show. Listowel, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me, my brother.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling... you know, my team just lost.
Your team just lost there.
Yes, it's difficult to take because
we'll come to it.
So I'm down.
You're down, eh?
Yeah, I hope somebody will make me feel good.
You have a nice lady. You have a nice lady by you, so right. So that's Listowel Mensah there from Angel Sports joining us on today's edition of Sports Ultras. Also, Anila Alote is here, Kelvin Usansa is here, and Ore Kwampofo is also here. Let me begin with Oreku though, and pick his thoughts on the Chelsea defeat. We are starting with Chelsea because it's the freshest news at the moment. Oreku, Chelsea, West Ham, 3-1. What happened?
Frustrating game. Yeah, very, very frustrating because it's one of those games where you look at the scoreline and you just know deep down it's not a true reflection of what happened on the pitch. But at the end of the day, the goals are the most important things. First half, West Ham had a good start. Chelsea bounced back and got the equalizer deservedly and dominated the game going on. Got a penalty, which I think if Enzo had scored, would have been the game wrapped up there. West Ham would have been on tenterhooks with how Chelsea were playing and would have probably ended in 3-1, 4-1 in favor of Pochettino's men. But those are the slim margins when it comes to the Premier League, which I think is the best league in the world. And every team would make you suffer for a win. And the team got duly punished. A couple of mistakes at the back, unfortunately, led to the Blues' demise tonight. And if you look on paper, it doesn't look too good for Pochettino because it's now just 1 point out of 6 points, and it doesn't speak well. It doesn't give you that foundation that you need, especially given the form that the club was in heading towards the back end of last season, where they were struggling to win games, struggling to score goals. And then everyone felt with Pochettino coming in, the good preseason where the team went unbeaten, sort of brought some breath of fresh air and good energy. But that seems to have all been converted into negative energy now. Momentum is gone. And we're starting to see signs of last season where the team just cannot convert chances. And that's my main worry, because when the penalty was awarded today, I asked myself, who's Chelsea's penalty taker? Argentina had a fantastic record in Qatar from 12 yards, and the only man to miss, I may be wrong, was Enzo Fernandez. I don't know whether someone else missed a penalty for Argentina. But that alone shows you that he was the weakest link from Qatar for the world champions in a team where everyone was a fantastic penalty taker. And Enzo all of a sudden becomes...
Stop this. What's the
meaning of that?
Yeah,
allow Ricky. Allow Ricky.
When I explain, he comes for me. Now he's wearing a Chelsea jersey. He has lost 3-1. His coach is yet to pick up a win this season. At the back of the jersey said they've written Nicolas. What did he do today?
Show it.
Turn around and show the camera.
Show it to the camera.
He has also put 99 there. Meanwhile, he finished 12 last season.
like that? After all these
It's
players,
out. Look at that.
I'm amazed.
Enzo took blank.
Enzo.
Charlie, guys, please allow him.
But yeah,
Oreku,
I think all around, you look around and it's really difficult to get a team, to get a player that you can say would be an outright top scorer for this Chelsea team. Everyone loves to contribute to play. No one is shy of the ball. Everyone loves to touch the ball. But whose responsibility is it to put the ball at the back of the net? And that, I think, would be the only downside to this team. And that's the most important thing, goal scoring. In the first 2 games, the team has created enough chances, but we're struggling to put the ball behind the net. And either, Pochettino solves this in the market or finds a way of changing, the shooting boots of the players that we have. But I just think it's a really big problem going forward. And it's rather unfortunate that you do all the good work, putting the ball at the back of the net is the problem right now. And I think it will get better, though. Eventually it would. Okay. But it would tell the degree to which we finish our season. If it gets better soon, then Chelsea could still be in the running for top 4. But if it's not fixed early, then it could be another season without Champions League football.
Let me come to you. Your team, Chelsea, have just lost. You were talking about how down you were, but how do you feel really about this team, this Chelsea team?
I think it's early days yet, but then there are things that we need to fix as soon as possible. I think that Jackson does a lot. He moves around a lot, and that's not good enough. If you are a striker, you're supposed to be in the box all the time and put the ball at the back of the net. But he seems to enjoy, dropping deep, having the touches, the flicks, and moving around. So this is the point that I would love to have Vlahovic in the team.
Okay.
He's more.
So you want to go back to the market?
Of course, yes. We need an established striker, because if you look at our team, obviously the defense, I think is okay.
Yeah, the midfield
is sorted.
Yeah.
Now we need somebody who can, like today, for instance, West Ham, we didn't anticipate that they were going to take their chances. If you look at the numbers and you look at the scoreline, you ask yourself, what happened? You understand? So I believe that we need to go back to the market, at least one striker, and I think Vlahovic will do for me, because if you look at his performance in Juventus side, you write him off. Yeah. But then you should understand that he's Juventus, playing in Allegri's team. Okay. You understand? So I would love to have him and give him opportunity. Yes, you can have 2 strikers at the same time. But then I still think it's early days yet. Things will be sorted out, but supposed to be as soon as possible.
Aniela?
I would say that I'm very happy today. I just want to point it out again. I'm very, very, very excited. Right from the first goal, I was like, whoa, oh boy, Oreku is dead today. Because last week, we also saw what Oreku did to me when I was trying to jump to the defense of my team. He thought, every day would be for him, but Pochettino said, no, today is definitely for you. Yeah. So I just want to take a few seconds to laugh at Oreku, but on a more serious note, I was quite impressed with this West Ham side and how they've started. It's rather unfortunate that Pochettino will still be looking for his first 3 points, his first real win, this season, having already drawn the first game. I didn't expect Chelsea to win this game. I'll just be honest and say that, because I don't think that they've had enough time to gel together as a unit. And that's the thing about Chelsea. Every time shipping off players on loan, getting a new set, spending so much money, and all for what? To finish 12th like last season. We saw it. So really, I'm not really seeing the points of what they are doing in there. When Caicedo came on, they all thought, hey, but what did he do? Nothing. If anything, he rather gave away, and Oreku saw it. But it's fine. Like Lister was saying, I'm sure he will come good, and we'll all be happy.
Pochettino?
All of them.
No, but Chelsea have a good coach in Pochettino.
Oh, sure. Really great. Hopefully, they finish in the top 10 or not. But anyway, I think for me, the star man would have to be James Ward-Prowse. I really enjoyed him today. And I mean, after he tweeted, how may I assist you today? I was like, I want to mention Oreku on the tweets, but I just want to leave him small. But he could tell me how I can assist him. But I just think that it was really, really, really good form from West Ham. And even though they were down to 10 men, I was expecting Chelsea to capitalize on that, but they still could do nothing. It just wasn't their game today. I mean, Listo and Oreko have tried to explain, but Enfa.
Charlie, that's a tough one. But Chelsea have just lost to West Ham United. Is the first thing that we talked about on this show, and we'll be getting into the Premier League fixtures and results a bit later. Don't forget, Man United also lost their game to Spurs by 2-0 yesterday. It was the first ever time since Spurs moved to their new stadium that they had beaten United in there. We'll be talking also about that, but let's shift focus a bit and head into the Women's World Cup, because today Spain were crowned champions of the Women's World Cup. Impressive performance there from the Spanish side. I mean, their captain is a 23-year-old, which is hugely impressive. I don't think that would happen in this country, Listo, to give a captain, a 23-year-old as captain. Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I noticed was that Alexia Putellas came on in the 90th minute. Someone who had won 2 Ballon d'Ors and had to come on in the 90th minute
for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Sama Paraluelo.
And
always been explaining if your time is up.
And that has worked for them. But Listo, what do you make of the Spain side?
I think that it's a reflection of the club games. You understand?
Yeah.
If you follow their women's league, I think it's highly competitive. And if you look at what Barcelona did in the Champions League, you know, they are superb side. So I'm not surprised that it has reflected in the World Cup. When their male team won 2010 World Cup, at that time Barcelona was also dominating world football. So it's something that they enjoy doing. But I will congratulate the English. I think that they've done a good job. You know, after designing their DNA, they make sure that they will have a proper model and improve from their junior team to the senior side. And if you look at their junior teams and their senior side, both male and female, they are doing well. It's just unfortunate they couldn't win. So better luck next time to them. But then I will say kudos to the Spanish side.
Kelvin, you have been following a lot of the Women's World Cup games. Today, the final, did it live up to expectation for you?
Well, I think it was a very brilliant one. Tactically, the Spaniards knew exactly what they were doing, and the coach, who had been vilified for the past 2 years, struggling to keep his position as the head coach, really came in with an effort that I think generally outweighed or outmuzzled what Serena Weigmann had on her sleeves. You know, today he just caught her unaware by introducing Sama Paraluelo, who is more mobile, who is more direct, who is more skillful, and who has more greater intent than Putellas, who would always want to play like the Xavi style, would want to dilly-dally with the ball and then dribble in the midfield and at the end of the day lose the ball. England made a quick twist to their setup, which I think really did not help them. Today they expected Elatoon to be doing most of the runs in behind the Spanish defense, and then Alessia Russo to be playing just behind her to try win the balls. But it didn't help because Olga Carmona was always moving on the left-hand side, which caught Lucy Bronze on her loose guard, and it really gave the Spaniards an advantage. And there's one thing that I always say, well, this is not to spite the women, but I always say that in very critical situations, females would mostly panic than males would do. When the English went down by a 1-0, just 45 minutes into the game, the second half, they just made 2 changes and they collapsed the entire team by bringing on Lauren James because they felt they needed someone who could run into the channels better and then get them the equalizer as quickly as possible. Once they did that, it gave an opportunity to Hermoso, who won the best player of the tournament, to control the game for the Spaniards, and they even created more and better and greater opportunities because the midfield was very non-existent, and they have an attacker who could really pounce on the Spanish defense to prevent them from playing from the back. I think the Spaniards have been tactically better than the English, and if you look through the tournament, England never faced a team who could really possess the ball and play like we want to play. They always
face direct side. So anytime they face them, it was just a quick move, a swift counter break, and then they get their goals. But once they met the Spaniards, who had been able to defeat some of the big gangs at this particular tournament, it became very difficult for them. I think that Spain really deserves this. And Olga Carmona, you look at Hermoso, Paraluelo, even Putellas, and as much as she didn't start the final, she really gave her bits. And the goalkeeper, a very young goalkeeper, I think also less than 23, and this is a very young squad that can live at, let's say, in the next 2 years. They play for Barcelona Femenina, about 9 of them. Play for Barca Femenina, and just like Listowell said, a true reflection of the women's game in the last 2 or 3 years, where Barca are very dominant in the women's game. But unfortunately for Sarina Wiegman, anytime she wins a trophy, looking forward to make history, she feels maybe it's time to reflect on it, and maybe she crumbles at the biggest stage when it matters so much. But I think credit to the English team, they've really done well, even without the likes of Beth Mead and other players. They've really come this far, and I think credit to them. It's sad to lose a final, but there's nothing they can do.
Anela, have your say on it, and then we can move on to the GFA.
And definitely what Kelvin was saying, all the English teams, both male and female, they just need to revamp and then come back again. But I mean, you said it yourself, especially last week when most of us were not giving Spain the chance. You said that if they'd make it through there, then definitely the final was theirs to win it. You said, and that's exactly how it played out. I don't know what happened with England. I'm not sure if they got a little too comfortable, because like Kelvin was saying, we look at the likes of Kelly, Toon, even James when she came on, they weren't on their top game. But again, perhaps because they hadn't faced that much of a tough competition leading up to things, Spain took advantage, and rightly so, they won it, and it was very deserved for them. Initially I deluded myself into thinking that perhaps Australia, the Matildas, could, find their way into the final. But again,
that's not how football works.
Yeah, you already told me. It's okay. I've accepted this, but I'll be back again with my support for the underdog some other time. But Olga Carmona, for me, was completely sensational, and I really enjoyed seeing her play.
All right, so that's it for the women's game. Impressive performance there. Also, Mary Ebbs winning the Golden Glove Award. Impressive performance. He also saved a penalty in that game, kept England in the game until the very end, but England just could not capitalize. Chloe Kelly, Lauren James, and there are many of these names are names that will stick with us in the coming years. When we are back, though, from this very short break, we'll be talking about the Ghana Football Association. We know there's the elections are looming large. In just about a month's time, there will be elections on the Ghana Football Association, and so we'll be getting into that, and we'll be assessing the GFA president's tenure as president of the Ghana Football Association. Stay with us.
Does winning mean to you? For Yao, it's seeing the joy in his mother's eyes after he provided her with a state-of-the-art kitchen to cook her signature Unapo jollof.
It's a mega win.
For Ajua, it's turning her passion for photography into a successful career while providing her children with the best education possible.
It's a mega win.
For Kwame, it's becoming his own boss and starting his music business.
It's a mega win.
Whatever winning means to you, Mega 6 Lotto can help you achieve it in grand style. With only 49 numbers to choose from, the odds are always in your favor. Play with as little as 2 Ghana cedis for a chance to win millions of cedis every week. Download our Android and iOS apps. Dial *266# or visit mega6lotto.com to make a mega impact on your life and the lives of others. Mega 6 Lotto. Mega winnings, mega impact. The Mega 6 Lotto is regulated and monitored by the NLA.
Sports Ultras. Sports Ultras. This is 3 Sports.
Right, so we are back. This is those Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. This show is brought to you by Mega 6 Lotto. Now, 6 numbers can change your life. What would you do if you won 1 million Ghana cedis today? That's actually the jackpot. So that's at stake for you to win. Now, with only 49 numbers to choose from, Mega 6 Lotto offers you the chance to win exciting prizes. Don't forget to play before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, dial *266# or download on download the apps on iOS and Android on mega6loto.com to play. Mega 6 Lotto is approved and regulated by the NLA. But don't forget though, back to it, don't forget that at 5 p.m. or before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, you can play where choose from 1 to 49 and you could be the lucky winner of 1 million Ghana cedis jackpots. Now, like I mentioned before we went on that quick break, let's get into the Ghana Football Association conversation. And it's the reason why we've brought Listo Mensah into our studios today. Listo works at Angel FM or Angel Sports, and he's joining us just to give us a sense of what Keto Kriku's tenure as GFA president has been. He's been a vociferous commentator on the Ghana Football Association and issues of Ghana football at large. Listo, you're welcome again to Sports Ultras. Now, straight to the sole reason why we brought you here today is that we are trying to assess Keto Kriku's tenure as FA president. Now, first of all, if you are asked to rate Keto Kriku over 10, what would be your mark?
I'll give him 3.
3 over 10.
Yes.
Why would it be 3?
Because he has failed. You understand? Last 4 years, he brought a document, which is his manifesto. I think it is 18-page document, and I've been going through, and he hasn't achieved even 10% of it.
Really?
Yes, and he hasn't even given opportunity to tell us that maybe he wants to review it, because you can bring your policies, but when you get in, there are certain obstacles that will not allow you to implement what you said you wanted to implement. So he hasn't said that. But then the conversation is that he has overachieved. And I think it's dishonest statement, and whoever says that supposed to be arrested, because the numbers or the achievement or what we wanted him to do, he hasn't done it. If you look at our national teams, dead. If you look at our league, dead, non-existence. You understand? The league has retrogressed massively. That, look, it's bad. You understand? So let's do it.
This is 3 Sports.
Keto Kriku promised us that he was going to make our league a force to reckon with. You understand? So you expect that he will bring more money into it. Our pitches, our referees, It's been 4 years, and he's telling us that he is now fixing the fundamentals. You understand? It's been 4 years. You understand? So I think that he's not qualified to get re-election. If those who are going to vote really love football, they should vote against him.
Okay.
Yes, because he hasn't helped. Our national team has been dominated by players who are directly linked to him, and that is something that is unacceptable. Because
which of the national teams though?
all of the national teams except the last 2 call-ups, which was done by Chris.
Okay.
That didn't feature any of the players affiliated with him. Go into the under 17, you have about 4 or 5 players in there. Go into the under 20, they are all over the place. You understand? And they don't have any track record to tell us that, okay, in the past, Dreams FC, in God we trust, still believe, were giving us players and they were doing well for us. Right. You can talk of the Tamayut, you can talk of the House of Folk and Kotoko players who were and Wafa, who were dominating in our national teams, in a junior national team, and were doing well. Yeah. Can you imagine that we went to Tolong tournament and we got beaten by Indonesia? Indonesia. We went to recently. They played under 20 Wafu Zombi. It was a 6 tournament.
Yeah, 6 nations.
And we couldn't even beat Niger. And that is the sad aspect of it. We cannot even beat the teams that were not even considered in the past. Today we cannot even beat them. And I think that his appointment, you look at under 17 for instance, we had 5 coaches there. You don't do that if you want your football to progress. You don't do that. You understand? So for me, our league is nothing to write home about. Today, people are not even interested in our game. They don't even come to the stadium. We play empty stadium and all that. Our players are moving out. He promised us that he was going to bring a minimum wage so that it will, curb the more players moving out.
The player
exodus. You understand?
Yeah.
He said that, but as we speak, he has increased his allowance and salary to 900%. That's what he did. They appointed Freddie Moore to engineer that, and they increased the allowance by 900%. The players that you promised that you were going to fix a minimum wage for them, it's been 4 years and he hasn't done it. You understand?
Yeah.
He went to the Congress and said that our football is on the rise.
Okay.
Our football can never be on the rise. We are rather going backwards. So I feel that he doesn't deserve a second term. He has failed woefully, because we should measure him based on what he said.
Yeah.
Other than that, anybody at all can come and say, I will buy you this, I'll do this, I'll do that. And when you vote the person into power, the person will come and amass wealth for himself. And that's exactly what we are witnessing.
Now, Listo, I mean, you've listed all these things, which are not great for any country's football to develop. But it doesn't look like the football people even want to come out to challenge kids. It is Mr. George Free who competed against him the last time, the only person who has come out. What do you think has accounted for people not putting themselves out there to say we want the seat of president as the GFA president?
I think they are afraid. Yes, if you are not brave in this country, the incumbents always, they always have their way. Look at the filing fee, for instance, and look at where they are even going to have the elections.
Yeah.
They are taking it to Tamale. So the grounds are not too good for more people to enjoy, and it could be a strategy too. You understand?
Yeah.
Maybe they think that, okay, the last time it was 6 people.
Yeah.
This time let's give him one opposition so that we will rally behind.
Because I expected that someone like Nanaya Amponsa would step forward again and try to get in there. I mean, I don't know what's happening.
Yes, I had a conversation with him and we discussed this topic, but then he thought that it was too early.
Yeah.
Looking at what happened at Kotoko, it wasn't the best the way he left.
Yeah.
I think he did great, but we made it seem as if he was a thief. You understand? So he will need time to vindicate him before he can come. So that's what he said. That looking at the atmosphere, he's gotten some bad press in recent times, and I think that it will not be proper for him. But so I think George coming up to face Kurt might be a strategy, because the last time it didn't help.
Yeah,
it didn't help at all. It didn't
but
help.
Does George stand a chance though?
Yes, he does. Yes.
Can he win?
He can win. He can win, but he needs to work hard.
Yeah.
You understand? We need to let football people hold those they voted into power accountable.
Yeah.
They are not holding them accountable, because I think we interviewed Oluboy.
Yeah.
And we asked him, who is he going for? He said, Kurt. Why? He said, now our calendar is the same as the Europeans.
That's synced with the European calendar.
Now, Kurt gave them beeps. Kurt gave them balls. Kurt gave them... These are mediocre things. Yeah. You understand? You cannot be a Premier League club and you cannot afford beeps. Then you don't deserve to play the Premier League. But you can't blame Oloboy, because he doesn't pay anybody. He doesn't pay players. He doesn't buy anything for Olympics. He's just there because he's been in the system for a very long time.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So those who are taking decisions are not those who are really, really investing in our sports.
Yeah.
You will not see Togbe Afede, saying things that will cause change at the FA. It is Akambi who is doing that.
Yeah.
Akami doesn't pay players' salaries.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know how it feels to run football in our country. So those who are supposed to hold Ket accountable are not doing that. They've giving the powers to people who are rather benefiting from our sport. Somebody like Achi, for instance, right?
Yeah.
He joined the ESCO on a ticket of Ashgold. Ashgold is no more.
Yeah.
Now he has joined Dreams FC.
Yeah.
And he wants to contest again.
Yeah.
And he's moving around campaigning for Ket. You understand? Somebody like that. He doesn't own football club. He doesn't pay salaries. What at all is he doing in those making decisions for us? What at all is he doing there? Definitely, he's going there to serve somebody's interest. You understand?
Yeah.
He's going there to serve somebody's interest. So I feel football people must look at what is on the ground. You know, ask yourself questions.
Yeah.
And demand some level of accountability. That's why leadership in this country, you know, they always have their way, because we don't hold them to straight accountability.
Yeah.
The moment you do that, they will tag you as a hater. But me, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
You understand? Me, I don't care. Achi, for instance, he was the management committee chairman for the U23.
Yeah.
In the midst of COVID, he led our team to Japan and South Korea. We played, I think, 3 matches. And we got beaten by 15-2. In all.
Yeah.
You understand? He came back. They didn't render account to anybody. Then he took our team to Egypt for pre-tournament campaign. You know, qualifying for the Olympics were dear to our heart. We wanted to qualify.
Yeah. Because it's been a while.
Yes. Then this guy went to Egypt, then left the team there, went to Cameroon to do a side job, returned and took the team to Morocco, and it was embarrassment. He promised us that we were going to take the best under-20 team to go and qualify. He failed woefully, and when he got to Kotoka, he said that he has dissolved the technical team. Who does that? Because we sent you. You're supposed to bring your report. Bring your report. So your report will inform whether we will sack these coaches or we will let them continue, because there are certain things that we heard that was not pleasant. You understand? And it was not only down to the coaches alone. You, the management members, also contributed to some of the things that happened in Morocco. You understand? But he came and threw the technical team under the bus.
Yeah.
Do you know that next year we are playing all African games, and the under 23 are supposed to represent us? Now we don't have coaches for the under 23 side because of somebody's ego. You understand? So I think that the things that they are doing is not giving us the needed results that we need as a country. Our football is retrogressing. We went to AFCON under Ket, and if you get the report, you remember Aban Bagwin had a committee to investigate what happened. If you read the report, you will cry for Ghana.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this guy, Chairman Bafo, went for trials in Portugal and got COVID, returned to AFCON base, the camping base.
Yeah.
Because he had COVID, he couldn't train with the team, and they gave him appearance fee of $20,000. They gave appearance fees to these guys. We took injured players to the tournament, and can you imagine? We lost to Comoros, and that alone is enough for us to vote against Ket. You went to AFCON and we couldn't even win one game.
Yeah.
We met Comoros.
So you see that, and that's what I was coming to, the national teams. You've mentioned the AFCON. The World Cup was also a no-show.
Yeah.
The Black Galaxies went out there, was a no-show. The
under 23.
The under 23.
Yeah.
The under 23 also, the Meteors, they also went out there. It was a no-show. The under 20 team, which Samuel Boadu led, also went out there, and then it was a no-show.
Yeah.
So there's been a consistent trend of failure in all our national teams. Where do we put the blame?
It's on Ket. It's on Ket. He promised us that he was going to our junior teams must start winning again. That's what he said. But then he came in, and I remember a Facebook post that he made when Kwesi Appiah was the head coach. He was agitating that his 2 players were not getting call-ups. The moment he won, and I can tell you that since he came, his club has enjoyed more call-ups than any other club in the world. Dreams FC, in God we trust, and
in the world.
Yes, I'm telling you, in the world, one club belonging to one person has enjoyed more call-ups in our national teams than any club in the world. I'm saying this for a fact. I'm not lying. I'm saying this for there are 20 that there's some aboard with. We have about 4 of them. 4 of them is in there. You understand? So he came in to just satisfy himself, to use the national team to build the profile of his players, and it hasn't ended well. And I think that the football people, if you really they love football, look, if you check their financial statements, right, and you look at the amount of money, and they brought a graph saying that they've increased the revenue generation. If you do the math, they've used about 70% of those monies as administration fee. And if you want to appreciate what I'm saying, look at the Bet Power sponsorship.
Right.
Administrative fee alone is $300,000.
Wow.
Kotoko and Haas, they were giving $26,000. $26,000, and administrative fees alone. Promotion and advertisement alone is $1 million. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is not proper. Right. It is not proper.
Now, Listo, it's not just Kets who's going for an election this time around. We're also trying to elect some top members into the ESCO. And before we get into that, Kelvin, the ESCO has come up again. Last week you spoke extensively about it.
Sure.
Now this week, because Listo is here, I want to give him a chance to talk about who he fancies to get into the executive committee of the Ghana Football Association.
Exactly.
But what are your initial thoughts before Listo comes in?
Well, I think it's actually going to be a very big one to look at. But as I always say, the big guns will always find themselves in there. I was doubting the capability of Kwesi Appiah to probably get into the ESCO, but gradually I am getting convinced because of the happenings behind the scenes. I'm sure Listo Wall is also privy to it, and some of the Asante Kotoko fans were a bit disappointed because they felt they were at a war with this football association, and then what the decision that has come from their superiors wasn't really ideal. But I think Kwesi Appiah should be in there. Can be per the strength of this heart of folk team, and then the football politics will be in there. Dr. Randy Abbey is also expected to maintain his position, especially when he's coming in with that slot from Division 1. Heart of Lions, at least he has that caucus in there. He still has a very good relationship amongst the clubs in there. Fedachi, in as much as he's changed clubs, trust you me, he would find his way there. He will find his way through. The last name is where I still find a worry, but I still think that Dr. Tony Obin with his Mediama SC is also strong. So these are my 5 that I think would make the ESCO. It's going to be difficult for some of the others like Odro Safo and all that. They've fallen a bit lower down the pecking order, and I don't think that it would be in there. Kingsley and Asenso, they are not really strongholds that I think they would be able to get in there. So my 5 would be that.
Right. Listo, back to you. The executive committee.
I'm disappointed in the those who got opportunity to be there. Yes, because we voted for you guys, so we're expecting you to do what you said you were going to do during the campaign trail. But they went there and they were championing the agenda of the FA president, and I think it's not proper. It's not proper. They are supposed to let us feel their presence there, but we will still vote for them. So I think that Dr. Randy Abbey should get opportunity to be there. I think he's a respectable man, but then he should watch some of the things that he says, because the last time, I heard him saying that Chris hasn't improved our team much, and it generated a whole lot of conversation on social media. I think that he's somebody that I like, and I don't want to speak about his matter.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes. So he should check some of these things.
Right.
He shouldn't allow Kurt and his people to because it was Aminu Shadow who started the conversation, and he came. I think he said it here. Yeah. So he should watch that, but he's supposed to be there. Dr. Tony Obin.
Yeah.
Supposed to be there. Kingsley Owusu-Echam.
Okay.
I want him to be there, because if you look at Bechem, I think he's the brain behind Bechem. They are a model club which they are operating very, very well, and he's the brain behind that. I will let him. I will vote for him to be there. I will want to see Coach Kwesi Appiah, because he will be a different. He will come with a different.
He's someone who has never been there.
Yes.
Yeah. So
he's played before, and he's coached before. So I don't think he will be in a meeting where the FA president will propose that he's going to pay his regional chairman and leave the national team coaches, especially the junior team coaches.
Right.
I don't think Kwesi Appiah will be in a meeting and accept that. So he should go there and make sure that some of these things, he will champion it for the coaches. 11-1 right. 2.
Yeah. You mentioned Randy, Dr. Tony Obin, and
Kwesi Appiah.
Yeah.
Then Kingsley Owusu-Echam.
Okay.
Then who again? I will not vote for Akambi. Yes, because even
how about Joseph?
No, Odosafo. No.
Why?
He was not supposed to be there in the first place, because Odosafo, he's more like a parasite of that sort. You understand? He's been moving. You understand? You're supposed to go and form your team. Pay your players. Lead a team of your own. Let's see.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's why in the last 4 years he was all over the place, granting interviews and insulting journalists and all that.
Yeah.
They should vote him out.
Okay.
And he I think we didn't even drag him much.
Yeah.
Because he led
the maidens
to Morocco, and they included an overage player in there. Look at this, he's still moving around, wearing his cap and all that. He's supposed to be facing some level of persecution, because you cannot change people's age and you understand.
No, it's true. It's dishonesty, and
you understand.
And I mean, anybody who can be that dishonest in instances like that does not deserve to serve anybody.
Exactly. So I think the last one.
You're left with just one person, or one more person. Fredachi is there as well.
No. I don't know.
You're not
he's not supposed to be there.
So Kelvin, just if you can give us the names so that he can pick out his last person.
So we have Kingsley Owusu-Echam, so he said he should be in there. Odro Safo, you say no. Ed Monaka.
Yes.
You wanted Monaka?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because Samates, if you go there and look at what they've done.
But there is a lawyer Monday as well, and there is Kwabena Senso and Raphael Jambra. Also, chairman.
They should work hard and come back next 4 years.
Anyway, but let's do just a final one on the GFA elections. Then we move on to the Black Star squad, because we need to talk about how our players are doing in Europe, and just how we can get them in the best shape to take on Central African Republic. If we lose that game, we are not qualifying for AFCON. So it is a huge one that's coming up. But what can George Afriyie do to get the minds of football people into his camp and say we are voting for George to lead us? Because it looks like Kurt is the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah.
What can George do?
I think he needs to explain himself better. You understand? Let people understand that you are not going to repeat what the mistakes that Kurt has done. let them understand that. Let them have confidence in you. You understand? Let them, because you've been around for a very long time. Your records are there for everybody to see. So I think that at this stage, he can only let people have confidence in him.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Go to them, and he's supposed to work extra hard, because I think Kurt is leading in terms of the endorsement and all that. But
popularity.
endorsement is not votes, because George had all the endorsement last 4 years and lost.
Yeah.
So he can take some clue from there that yes, all the RFAs, some of the club administrators are coming out and endorsing Kurt and all that, but then endorsements are not votes. So I think that he shouldn't give up. If you want to win election, no election is easy. Even when you are in school and you are vying for class prefect, it's not easy.
No, she was senior prefect, SP.
Okay.
In Ebri Girls.
So
she knows a thing or two about winning elections.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not easy.
But
So
we're not winning championship.
so I think that the only thing I can tell George is that he should work hard. Go to, because there are not many. Yeah. Only 124 people are voting. So you can target some numbers.
Yeah.
I think if you get 64, 64,
you're
you
over
win.
the line.
Yeah. So target these 64 people.
Yeah.
Make sure
keep talking to them.
Yes, and let them understand that, look, this man, Kurt, he's bad. Oh, he hasn't helped you. He knows it. He hasn't helped at all. I think he's the richest football administrator in the country, behind Tom Veno.
I thought you were going to say in the world.
No. In the world, in Ghana, you understand? But if you look at his pitch, it's nothing home to write about. You understand? It's very bad. So he's amassing wealth for himself, and he's not even giving back to football.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
If you ask their players the amount that he's paying them, you cry for them. You understand? So I think that they should look at all these things and vote against him. Our league, I follow our league very well, and
we all do.
Yes. And look at the pitches. We are in 2023.
The pitches, the kits, the boots, the buses they travel with, and all of that.
Yes,
it's tough.
Yes, we're supposed to change things, but he hasn't done much, and I think that he doesn't deserve to lead us. I hope and pray that George will win, so that if he comes and he also messes up, they will vote against him. Then, so that leaders will take
like a cue from it.
Yes, they will take them serious. Because if you don't vote against them, they will think that, like what Oluboy was saying, kits, bibs, football boots, football premier team, you can't buy bibs, you can't buy boots, you can't buy balls. Then you don't have any business playing in our Premier League.
Right.
You understand? That's why, as we speak, RTU, they owe their players, I think, 7 months.
7 months.
Yes, Legon Cities last season it was 7 months. So how can you even guarantee the integrity of our sport? Because these guys, if you get $5,000 and you give it to them, you take this and score 2 goals for me, they will take it, because at the end of the day, they are not getting paid, and there is no system checking these things. Do you think you can be in a Premier League, even in a championship, and you not pay your players for 1 month, and they will allow you to play? They will not allow you to play, because at the end of the day, you are exposing these players, you are exposing these teams to match fixing and match manipulation. So we should look at all these things and make sure they vote against. If he wins, it will pay me pa. Media to pay me pa.
This is 3 Sports.
So we are going for, I think the vetting is tomorrow. It's starting tomorrow, and then on Tuesday. What are your expectations out of these 11 people? Are you expecting anybody to fall out, and would you be surprised if let's say any of the members are not able to, or are not passed, just like it happened to Palmer last 4 years, and a couple of other people who couldn't progress to the elections itself?
It is possible that they can disqualify George. It is possible. These people, people, I know them. Because under him, the supposed enemies, all their clubs, Fire Rangers is no more.
Yeah.
Techiman City.
Yes.
Mickey Charles.
Yeah, Mickey Charles team.
Yeah, I mean that's. These are guys who were against him during the last elections. You understand? So he's a kind of a vindictive type. You understand? So it is possible that they might disqualify George, but they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You understand? If you think you've worked hard
and you deserve
another term, get competition, because competition is very good. It will
keep you on your toes.
And exactly it will let you feel some level of superiority, because you went for an election and you won. I've beaten you twice.
Exactly.
It will bring some level of so I think that they shouldn't disqualify him, but I'm expecting that they would disqualify somebody like Odru Safo, Achi. Yes, these two. If they disqualify them, I will be very, very, very happy, because among all of them, all the 11, they are the only two who are more of a parasite, and they are doing some guru boy job in there. You understand? Because they don't have a club. They are just there. And I ask myself, whose purpose are they serving?
No, but now that Ashgold is gone, I mean, Achi would definitely have to go to another team. He can't just stay at Ashgold now that Ashgold is no more. And so if he goes to Dreams,
then what did you do in the last 4 years? What has he done? You tell me. Can you pinpoint that? Okay, this is what, because all the achievement they are attributing it to the FA president. Meanwhile, Achi, you brought out your manifesto and you campaigned and they voted for you. So he should tell me that I did this, I did that. There's nothing of that sort. And he was management committee chairman, and he failed. You understand? So I think that Odo Safu, for instance, how can Odo Safu be committee chairman in charge of our black maidens, whilst we have female football administrators who are doing so well? He's in there, all the benefits are coming to him, not the football. So I think that they don't deserve at all.
Right.
Kurt,
Odru
Safo and Achi. These three, if they win, I'll be very disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed.
There's a possibility though that they will win.
Oh yes, they have a chance. But I think that if the football people, if they really, really love our football, they should get these people out. You just get them out. Bring new guys. If they come and they also mess us up, get them out until we get somebody who is ready to change our football and change it for the better.
Right. So we'll come back though. We'll be back to talk about the Black Stars and the call-ups that we are expecting in a bit. But before we do that, let me give Oreku a chance to talk about some of our players and how they've performed this weekend in their various leagues. I've seen, Oreku, that you've posted on Osman Bukari goal, and then there's been talk about Kudus as well over the last 2 weeks, really, because he's been literally the star man for Ajax in the open season. What are your thoughts on the Ghanaian players and heading into a game like the Central African Republic? It's still quite a number of time away, but it's so close yet it's so far. So what can we do now? Which players are we likely to see Chris Hughton call up to join the team?
Well, I think the most tricky, or the trickiest international window, is the September one, because it comes so fast after the season begins. Usually you want your players to be fit, you want them to be in rhythm, so that when they come for the international window, they just train for a couple of days and then they play their games. But here's a situation where a lot of the players had international duty after the season ended back in June, and so they only had a couple of weeks break, and everything has just seemed so fast that we're seeing a lot of injuries this time around, and some players are still not back in shape when you're concerning yourself with the Black Stars players. But there are still some positives, and for our attacking players, it's been a good start to the season for majority of them.
Yeah.
You're looking at someone like Kudus, who opened his account 2 games ago, where he got the match-winning moment for Ajax, although they went on to score more goals. And then he provided an assist this weekend for Klassen. You're also looking at Antoine Semenyo coming back from injury, starting his first game since March. Yeah, scoring a goal at Anfield. Bournemouth eventually lost, but I think he was the standout player for the side. Had the most dribbles, created the most chances for any player from the Cherries team at Anfield. So some good positive notes for him on that day. And then there's also the case of Iñaki Williams, also getting on the score sheet and scoring. As you rightly mentioned, Osman Bukhari has been on fire, scoring 3 goals in his first 4 league games in Serbia. And then there's also Enes Nuama, who has been the talk of town, has been linked with a number of clubs, likely to go to Lyon as they've agreed with Nordsjælland. But he's also had a hat-trick and scored another game, 4 goals, but hasn't started this weekend due to his imminent transfer.
Yeah.
And so across the front line, you're seeing all these players scoring and assisting. And there's also Jordan Ayew, who assisted Palace's first goal of the Premier League season. So that's good signs that we're seeing, our attacking players getting goal involvement and actually getting minutes. But there's, some few cases of maybe I'll describe them as they're on the other side of the tree, because you're looking at someone like Kamaldeen Suleiman, yet to kick a ball.
Is he injured?
The coach says he's injured. I don't think he is. I think the truth is Southampton are just not going to keep him, because after Ward-Prowse left, he's now the highest paid player in the team.
Right.
And in the Championship, they cannot afford to pay players that amount of money. And he signed a long-term deal, not willing to negotiate to cut down his transfer. And so it's only right that Southampton let him go, because they have a Dozie, they have Janepo, and quite a number of players that can play out wide. So I think you leave, and I think he's looking at a club to come sign him. And so Southampton probably don't want to risk him, and he's not had pre-season with them as well. So if there's no future, there's no point in playing in the Championship. Eventually you leave Southampton, likely to go to France. And then there's Andre Ayew, who's also not played a single minute. Yeah. But these 2 players have been quite prominent in how much they feature for the Black Stars in the past few months. And if you're drawing a starting 11, usually they are in there. Joseph Painter has also been quite productive in Belgium. Unfortunately, he picked up a red card despite scoring during the week. And so it's a bit of mixed feelings for Chris Hughton going forward. In the midfield, I'm looking at Thomas Partey, and I think he's probably been the most consistent. Salih Samed struggled in his first game, but you can understand that the whole Lens team has gone through a transformational period, so they will take time to settle and all that. Defensively, Jiku joined the new team, Amate joined the new team, Tariq Lamptey now with under 23s, and it's a growing list of players. Gideon Mensah picked up an injury by his back, but it's all messed up around, and you feel that things have to go in the right direction heading into the September window, because as you mentioned, there is no margin for error, where if the team slips and Angola win their game, we could see the possibility of Ghana not participating in the next AFCON. So I think that's a summary of how our players have performed so far. Likely it will be the same team. The biggest surprise I'm anticipating could be the fact that Andre Ayew isn't called into the team, because I don't see a basis for it.
Right.
He shouldn't come.
What?
They shouldn't invite him. He has no business.
Right.
Yeah, he's not playing well. It's not like he's not playing well. He's not playing.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a team.
Right.
And just like we spoke about the women's team, even women, Asisa Toshola was begging for other players to start, and she came on. It happened with Puteas.
Yeah.
When she felt like she wasn't the best at the moment, she was benched. She wasn't brought to the tournament. The English were playing players who were expected to be on the bench as starters. Alessia Russo, Elatun, and the rest had to start. For the likes of Chloe Kelly, who were very vibrant in the women's team during the European Championship, to sit on the bench. So I don't see a reason why we should sacrifice others for him just because he's the captain. If you're a captain and you don't have a team, just stay away from the side and then let those who are performing well and active come and play. That's all we need, because if we joke what happened in 2003 preventing us from going to Tunisia 2004 will happen.
Right, Listo, let me come to you now. We just have a few days before we get into that September game. it's a make or break game for Ghana.
Yeah.
I don't think Ghana have gotten here in a very long time. Like Kelvin said, the last time it happened to us was in 2003. This time around, if we don't win and Angola wins, they go ahead of us. If you are Chris Hughton, what would you do?
I think that we will be under pressure because Chris, the last time we played here, we won by 1-0. Then 2 draws away. I think that he is here to convince me, for instance. He's here to, but I will not say that they should sack him like what the FA people are trying to do. I think that he needs to, up his game, and you can only up your game when you give players who are on form opportunity to play. Somebody like Osman Bukari, supposed to be playing for the national team, supposed to be playing, supposed to be starting. You understand? I will not accept it. Yes, I don't think he will not. I don't think he will say he will not call our captain.
He shouldn't call him.
He will call him because of the nature of the way our the way we do our things.
Is that the right
It's
thing?
not the right thing.
It's not the right thing, but sometimes you need to.
We shouldn't pamper these players.
Yes, we don't need.
When
to
he was
pamper him,
being
but
brought into the team, others who were established players were not pampered. They were sent away.
I share the same sentiment. But I'm talking about the environment that we operate is so toxic to the extent that even if you are doing the right things, people can make it look like you are doing the bad thing.
Let's make it the right thing.
And because this game is so crucial to the extent that if we don't win or if we lose and Angola win, we will not qualify.
Exactly.
You don't give room for people to make noise, create confusion before even the game starts. So you include him.
Don't you think that is also going to cause a step? Because we are definitely going to peruse the squad, and if Andre Ayew gets on the list, that is going to be a major talking point for people to question that why are we bringing Andre into the team?
At the end of the day, you consider that he's the captain. At least you can find an excuse in there. But if you don't bring him at all, and the unfortunate happens, you understand? It is going to be serious. You understand? So I will include him in a 26-man squad, but I will not start him for that. I will not do that.
You see, and that's the problem, because if you are given an opportunity, or you're calling someone like Andre to the team, and you're not starting him, then there are certain problems that could come up, because he wants to play, he wants to start.
Angola game, he was on the bench.
Yeah, exactly,
and we won.
You understand?
Yes.
But you see, the thing is, after that Angola game, what has happened after? He started the last 2 games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now he's not playing.
You understand?
In the last 2 games, he had a club, right? But now he doesn't.
Yeah.
So there is basis for benching him. You understand? You have basis to bench him.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that, look, you can include him in the squad, but don't play him.
Okay.
If you don't play him, the person that you select to play will say that, okay, the captain is on the bench and I'm getting opportunity to play, so I need to make a claim for myself. And we have enormous talent to operate in his absence, but I think that he's supposed to be part of the squad. Yes, he's supposed to be part of the squad.
But Listo, so another thing I want to ask about is these youngsters. I've heard a lot of commentary about Andre Ayew and why he should not be included and whatever. But people's argument also is that when these young boys come in, they don't deliver, and so what's the point?
Exactly. That is the issue. You understand? If you give these guys opportunity, they don't play to the expectation of Ghanaians, and we end up going back to the old guys. But I think that it's on Chris Hughton to find a balance. You understand? We need to find a balance, because some of them haven't done bad at all. Somebody like Joseph Penty, although the last performance wasn't the best, but the pitch also contributed to the team not playing so well. Osman Bukari hasn't been bad. So it's on Chris Hughton to create that namely environment for these young guys, so that when they come, you give them the confidence that they need. Sometimes the environment is not good for them to play well. So it's on the coaches and those around the team to create namely environment for these youngsters to deliver. I think we have one of the most exciting guys in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, Niyama. You know, he's playing so well that I think that when he comes, you're supposed to give him confidence. When there is free kick, you know, let him play because he's showing it in his club. In Ghana, those who don't even venture, when Crystal Palace get penalty or free kick, you don't see Jordan even getting into the camera. He doesn't even appear at all.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Ghana, when there is free kick, then you see him, you know, trying to you know take those duties. I think that the coaches must sort all these things out because the fine margins determines games this time. You understand? So we need to take note of all these things.
But listen, that's a good point because Oriku, do you remember the last time we scored from a dead ball incident?
Incidentally, I think that would be Andrea against Sudan 3 years ago. I think, or 2 years ago.
And that's a long time.
Yeah. It was, and it's one of the things that I've always berated the technical team for because our last game, for instance, we had a number of corners and set pieces. I actually cut out all of them, and they were so bad. It was so bad that majority of the balls were not even hitting a Ghanaian man. Some of them were not even hitting any man at all. And I've been at the training sessions, and I can comfortably say that throughout all the sessions that I've been to this year, I never saw the team practice set pieces.
Wow.
It was always rondo drills, passing drills, shooting drills, and then 11v11.
Right.
I never saw them. And you see, all of these training sessions were open. They were open. And so for majority of the time, what they were doing there is what they plan to do in games. I've never seen the team work on set pieces. And it's not strange to see us not scoring from them in games. I think that where football is going at this point, the gap and the level between the so-called big teams and the minnows keeps on closing by the day.
Yeah.
And the only way you can maintain this gap or try and keep it up open, as Listo said, is to make sure you use those fine margins. Ghana has very good players in the air, or we have decent players in the air, but we've still not managed to tap into that side of things where you barely see us score from set pieces, and even the open play, we're not creating enough chances to be able to score. And so it's a major concern. But just to go back on the young players and the fact that they've not proved enough, it's always a funny discourse, because the thing is, it's either you're moving on from your big players or old players or not. Once they are still in the squad, not even in the starting 11, once they are still in the squad, they are in and around the camp, psychologically, you're not moving on from them. You're not giving these young players the opportunity to even breathe and become
Sports Ultra.
We need to make a decision that we've moved on from player X. We took some tough decisions in 2010, 2011, and we changed the face of our national team for the good. When we gave these young players the opportunity, you can go back and watch the tapes. They did not shine at every game immediately. But what we had was a consistent team that we knew. Look, back in the days, you could name at least 20 of the 23-man squad, or even 19 or 18. We had a consistent team. And we didn't make room for people who didn't deserve to be there. Now, the thing is, you are still calling these players, and they are in and around these young boys. And even before a ball is kicked, it's all about intimidation and the psyche. If some of these older players are still within the camp and feel like these young players are trying to take their place, look, it's football. There's going to be intimidation. So if we are moving on and truly moving on, let's go for these young guys and say that, okay, for the next 10 games, you are going to give them an actual chance. Let them play and give them the confidence. It's not like you play one game with Joseph Pinto and there's no Mohamed Kudus. It doesn't go all, and yes, we're giving them a chance, they didn't take it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how football works. They need to be given an extended period to show what they can truly play. And then after that period, if they're not playing well, you can move them away from the national team. Because the truth is, how come all of these players are doing well for their club side? How come Bukari is scoring goals? How come Penso is scoring and assisting? How come Iñaki Williams is scoring? How come Semenyo is scoring? How come Kudus is playing so well for Ajax that they want to keep him? How come Noama, every European team wants Noama? How come all of these guys are doing well in Europe and they come here and it's as if they can't kick a ball?
Yeah.
We have to look within then. Because if these guys were not good in Europe, then I'll understand. But they are doing well at higher levels.
Yeah.
So how come when they come here they cannot do well? That means that there's something that we need to fix. It's not
the coaching system.
Maybe it could be the coach, it could be the environment, it could be the pitch. It's an external factor that we need to understand.
Yeah, it's the environment. I think it's the environment because we had the same issue with CK, the same with Milo, and all the coaches. You understand? So it cannot be.
So there's been a trend.
Yes.
It's just pure disappointment that we've been lucky to get a talented generation after this. 2021 was disastrous. 2023 has been okay. We've gone to the World Cup, and we might, even after that poor AFCON showing in 2022, we managed to still go to the World Cup.
You know, that seems like a long time ago.
It does. And going to the World Cup has actually given us the opportunity to get these dual nationals, and then now we've got fresher talents in Noama coming to join the team. It's an exciting period for the Black Stars. We need to capitalize on it and bring the most out of these guys.
Right.
I think our national team is not far off. We just need to fix a couple of things and be bold with our decisions, and we'll be good again.
That's Rory Kwampofu there talking about the Black Stars. Don't forget, this show is brought to you by Mega 6 Lotto. 6 numbers can change your life. And what would you do with 1 million Ghana cedis today if you got that? Now, with only 49 numbers to choose from, Mega 6 Lotto offers you a chance to win exciting prizes. Don't forget to play before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Dial *266# or download on iOS, on Android, the apps that you can play the games on, and mega6lotto.com to play. Now, Mega 6 Lotto is approved and regulated by the National Lottery Authority. We'll be back shortly.
Sports Ultras.
What does winning mean to you? For Yao, it's seeing the joy in his mother's eyes after he provided her with a state-of-the-art kitchen to cook her signature Unapo jollof.
It's a mega win.
For Ajua, it's turning her passion for photography into a successful career while providing her children with the best education possible.
It's a mega win.
For Kwame, it's becoming his own boss and starting his music business.
It's a mega win.
Whatever winning means to you, Mega 6 Lotto can help you achieve it in grand style. With only 49 numbers to choose from, the odds are always in your favor. Play with as little as 2 Ghana cedis for a chance to win millions of cedis every week. Download our Android and iOS apps. Dial *266# or visit mega6lotto.com to make a mega impact on your life and the lives of others. Mega 6 Lotto. Mega winnings, mega impact. The Mega 6 Lotto is regulated and monitored by the NLA.
Well, this is to the Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Every Sunday we are on your radio, just bringing you excellent sports content and recapping what has happened over the weekend. Let's get back into the conversation, and we're talking Mediama SC. They take on Remo Stars in the CAF Champions League. Let's talk. Is this a good opportunity for Mediama?
Yes, they won, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not interested.
Are you convinced that they go to Nigeria and beat them again?
It's up to them. It's up to them.
Yeah.
We've not fared well in Africa in recent times, so they have opportunity to change some of this.
Sports Ultras.
They've gotten the win. Now the most important thing is that go out there and don't concede. If you don't concede, you move to the next stage. And they played well. They played so well today, and I think that they have the guys. I think that is experience enough to help go out there and go and have a good game and make sure they qualify. They should have a solid strategy. Now you've won. You don't need to go and score there.
Yeah.
Just prevent them from scoring.
Close shop.
Exactly. And if you're able to do that, definitely you qualify. And Dreams FC too, they did well. They played 1-1
over there.
And so you also play at home, don't concede, and you move to the next stage.
Great results there for the Ghanaian teams. Kelvin, you have so Kelvin is host of GPL Express. You've watched many of these Ghanaian sides. For Midiama, how important is this win for the club?
Well, I think it's very great for them, especially going to Nigeria. Remo Stars are very well resourced, and maybe Mediama may say they are well resourced, but they cannot match it to Remo Stars. You know, this is a team very well
Sports Ultra
at their disposal. They won the Nigeria. They competed very well. I think the Mediama team, the Ghana Premier League, you can say they were okay, they were good, but they were not really an excellent force that you would have expected to win the Ghana Premier League. I think the likes of Ediana, Bichim, and even Asante Kotoko let their gas down. If you look at the number of points that these sides lost at home in the run into the end of the season, it wasn't impressive. But that notwithstanding, you cannot take anything away from them. Jonathan Sowa, just like he saved them since he joined during the start of the second round, was the one who scored that solitary goal. And I still think that they lack that bite in midfield, the men who can really carry the team on their shoulders. If Mediama were the same Mediama during that 2016, 2017, I would have vouched for them to have thrashed this side by even 4 goals or 5 goals. But this is a team where you cannot even talk of players, 3 or 4 players who have played for even more than 2 years. It's more like a team that is gradually gelling and trying to find that synergy. Adote may be experienced, but the players don't have enough experience to play at this top level. 1-0 good for them, but going to Nigeria, they should expect some fireworks, unless they are going to play like Black Stars did against the Super Eagles back in Nigeria. I don't see too much promise with this result, but good for them. They know how tough Africa is. Many have complained Kotoko had to full go and then they fall and come back. I'm sure this is a testament to them that playing in Africa is not as cool as you play in the Ghana Premier League.
Most definitely. It's always a tough task for especially Ghanaian sides playing on the African continent. But Oreku, you wanted to have your say on that.
Yeah, I think today I got my confirmation that we're not going to see a Ghanaian club win any Carpenter Club competition anytime soon. And it doesn't even have to do with how Mediama played on the day. You take a look at the stadium.
Yeah.
And you could literally hear a pin drop. Apart from the media stand, it was empty seats all over.
There's nobody there.
No one. And in the Ghana Premier League, that's fine. But in Africa, this is your 12th man. This was supposed to be a home game. The reason why teams win in Africa is because they dominate at home. With that came here, Accra Heart of Oak beat them 2-0. Little did they know what they were going to meet in Morocco. You look at the trend of teams that have been successful in Africa recently, with that, Al Ahly, and even Sundowns to some extent. All of these guys, when you go to their stadium, you will shiver throughout as a player, as an opposition player. Today, Remo Stars felt really comfortable, possessed the ball. Yeah, but that's
far away from Takwa, not even close to Takwa.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
If our teams can't play in their actual home games, then they are playing at neutral venues. And that alone, I think, is such a big disadvantage that deeper into this competition, you could go past Remo Stars. But when you get to the money zone, trust me, you're not going to win any home game.
And with what Oreku is saying, this one tells the club licensing department to be very stern with their licensing regulations. If you have a very good regulation for it, and then the clubs are going by it, it means that they would have very well approved standard stadiums for their inter-club competitions, and they'll feel comfortable at home. Imagine Mediama had the TNA ready and they were playing there, or even the Akun Park was standard for just even the qualifiers. It would have been super great for them to play there, and they would have felt comfortable, and I'm sure they could have even scored more because of familiarity with the terrain and even the 12th man, which is the supporters behind them. You could see the entire stadium, the entire Cape Coast Stadium, aside the VIP section. You could see the rest of the stadium empty. I saw it from Twitter when Clinton Eleto, our friend, posted it that yes, the stadium is full.
Yeah.
But you know the funny thing, if Mediama or Dreams FC go to the semi-finals, they can't play in Ghana.
Well,
But
Baba, they will have to go to Kumasi.
No, there's no stadium.
We'll give them Kumasi.
There's no stadium. Truly, look, even the Babara, do you know CAF had to see inside for us more for that Ghana? There's still things we have to change.
Yeah, we haven't
On
changed.
paper, we can't compete in Africa. After semi-finals, there's no stadium in Ghana that would be passed legally.
We'll go to Morocco. We have a good relationship.
Yeah, by that time we'd have finished the AFCON, so we'll go to Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually close. Thank you for that. But Kelvin, you were showing me a message.
Yes.
Before we come to your message,
All
though, thank you, every one of you watching us on Facebook. We have quite a number of comments here. Let me read a few of them. Opoku Patrick, you're saying that everywhere Listo goes is fire. Fred Achi needs some lashes before he is voted out. That's Opoku Patrick there. Daniel King Chumesi says no one is convinced they were not the ones who packed the dollars in their bag. That's also it. Nasir says Stephen Appiah was taken to South Africa 2010 without having a team. Was the guy in the studio talking about that Andre Ayew is not playing. That's Nasir there. Nasir also says so who are the old players you guys are talking about, because our team is barely a new team. Osafo Johnny Ebenezer says some of the players sabotage themselves because managers have created enmity between them and the team. I don't know what you're talking about really. But also Citizen Sika Togo says, good evening. As for Chelsea, they are going to finish 12th again. United need to sell better midfield and other solid attacking players, not Anthony and Mason Mount. I mean, United fans do not really like Mount. Nasri again. I mean, today, thank you so much, Nasser, for listening to us. You're asking if Tariq Lamptey is injured. He just came back from an injury.
Yeah, he played for the 21s for Brighton. I think 3 days ago. So
exactly, and so he's still in the mix. He could get his chance. And Prince Owusu Ando, you're also saying my man Ore Kwampofo, and you gave him a fire emoji there. Thank you so much for your comments. But Kelvin, the message from Ebenezer Sefa.
Yes, Coach Eben. Yes, greetings to you. You've always been joining the show via Facebook. He says, I think the technical team of the Black Stars need to really check how these players are being used in their respective clubs and the type of system we have been playing. Partey does very well with Arsenal, Kudus, etc. When Koja Samoa was playing as a left wing back for Juventus, he comes down and plays the same role and does well enough. We all knew him to be offensive-minded attacker. Well, that is from Coach Ebenezer. And this is a well-wish to Coach Faisal Chipsa. Yes, he was to join us today, but unfortunately, I think he's a bit under the weather. We wish him speedy recovery. Great strength for him. But a message to Nazar. Stephen Appiah played for two clubs, Italian clubs, during that period, 2010, Cesena and Bologna. He switched between the two clubs, so he wasn't idle. So he should get to know his facts right before commenting.
Most definitely, and that's it. This is what Sports Ultras is all about, and we're just giving you everything you need to need. There's one here. Osafo Johnny Ebenezer says Randy, Kurtz, Fred Papo, and Anas connived to bring Nyantechi down. Now, Ghana national football teams and clubs are facing rigorous and biased officiating on international levels. That's also your comment there. Thank you so much for bringing your comments in. This is still Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. We're just about wrapping up. But before we do that, though, just a few comments on... we have two things we have to talk about: the UEFA Awards and then the Premier League. So, Oriko, I'll give you the UEFA Awards, and then I'll come to Listowell on the Premier League. I'll have Listowell talk about Manchester United, and then Kelvin, your team Arsenal plays tomorrow against Crystal Palace. So you would have the last say, and then we close out the show. Oriko, let's talk about UEFA Player of the Year, Coach of the Year.
Well, before I go into the UEFA Awards, all the best to Jordan Ayew tomorrow when he takes on Arsenal. We'll be behind him.
We'll be behind Jordan.
But on the UEFA Awards, I think the biggest concern or the biggest controversy was why was Lionel Messi there. But I don't even think that's the biggest issue. Messi deserves to be there. Obviously, in the World Cup year, about when you're factoring your calendar year or the football year, you're looking at the most or the biggest competition, the most relevant in the year. Usually is the Champions League. But in the World Cup year, of course, more credence goes to whoever wins the World Cup. And for Messi, he didn't just win the World Cup. He dominated, and he was the reason why Argentina won it. And so I think it was an iconic moment, kind of a moment where the late Maradona passed a mantle to Lionel Messi, and it was a crowning moment for him. So there is that sentiment attached to it. And so it makes sense that he is in the nominee list. Maybe you could have done better with this club side, Paris Saint-Germain, especially in the Champions League. Liga is a formality for them, although now I don't think it is though. But he still contributed to the league, 16 goals, 16 assists. They won the league, which was fine. Would have been okay for any other player, but Messi standards are way higher. So I get the reason of him being in the top 3. But it's strange that someone like Vinicius was in the top 10. And I think that's the biggest controversy that people should have been throwing more light on.
Yeah.
You look in the top 10 and you're looking at someone like Declan Rice and Jesus Navas. Fine, I understand that someone like Navas won the Europa, Declan Rice won the Conference League.
Yeah.
But really, are we going to ignore everything that Vinicius did in the season to not call him a top 10 player in Europe just because he didn't win the Champions League but got to the semi-finals? Just because he didn't win, La Liga and ended up winning the Copa del Rey? I don't think that's fair. Just because he had a bad World Cup, I don't think that was fair. Because for me, I think Vinicius should be somewhere in around the top 5.
Right.
And a lot of the people in the list are there because of the trophy gimmick. I call it a trophy gimmick because some people just find themselves in a team that wins a trophy and all of a sudden people overrate them. Gundogan was in there. I was surprised. Gundogan only came alive in the latter part of it. No doubt he's a top quality player, but he wasn't top 5 players in the world last season. Let's be honest. There are players who played from August to the end of the season.
Mbappe.
Yeah, all of these guys were playing football. But
why is he not in there?
I get the reasoning that maybe you want to focus on the World Cup and the treble winning team because they're the 2 highlights of the season, which is fair. If I was to pick a winner, I think Haaland has shot himself in the foot.
How?
I do believe in recency bias. And, when humans are voting, there's a tendency to remember your latter actions. It will be difficult to remember what Haaland did 6-7 months ago. What I want to remember, winning goal was Rodri. Champions League semi-final, KDB got a goal. You have to go back to Haaland's contribution to Manchester City's treble. And that's not a good look because even in the league, he fell off in the last 7 games. And then you have Lionel Messi where, as I said, the World Cup was iconic. It's something that is difficult to forget. And even beyond that, when he moved to the MLS, although it may not be considered, it's still a good memory in people's heads. Coaches and captains who are voting remember, Messi went to MLS and won with Inter Miami, who have never won a trophy. So it's a good signal in their head. And that's the subjectivity that counts with human voting. Because if it was an fully objective
the MLS
system,
is a league cup. They are still at the base of the league.
No. That's what he's played. And that's what people would remember him for. If the voting was done today, people will remember what he did in the League's Cup.
So that raises questions about the games or the matches or the competitions that the other players, especially Kylian Mbappe, played, that he's been exempted from this. If you are talking about these competitions, what is the MLS League Cup?
No, you're not getting
what is
my
the
point.
MLS League Cup? That should
I'm
give
saying
a recency bias to Messi to be voted European Player of the Year.
Messi is not in the top 3 because of that, and he's not going to win it or finish second because of. No one will consider that. It's not in the calendar year, but I'm saying that you, Kelvin, if you are going to vote today, what in your mind you are like, as things stand right now, Haaland is not having the best moments. He struggled in finals. You're looking at Kevin De Bruyne, he's injured. You're looking at Lionel Messi, he's won a World Cup and now he's doing well at Inter Miami. Although logically you don't consider that, the human fight side of it, the subjective part of it, recency bias, and that's why I think you win it. Because if imagine Haaland scored a Champions League winning goal, and in the Super Cup he scored a winning goal. Although the Super Cup is not part of the calendar and it wouldn't be considered, people will remember him for that. He got lost at the very, very bad time, and unfortunately for him, his votes would also be shared with Kevin De Bruyne, his teammate. Because there are 2 Man City players and 2 treble winners. And that's what happened Van Dijk's time when he lost the Ballon d'Or narrowly to Messi, where he was sharing votes with Mane and Salah. Fortunately for Messi, he's there alone. And anyone who's voting for him based on the World Cup will vote for him. Those who are going for a treble winner, some will say Kevin De Bruyne contributed more to the treble than Haaland. Some will say vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's where they will split it. And that's why for me, I think Messi will win it. Not because he deserves it. If I was voting, I'll vote for Haaland.
If it's a European award, I think UEFA should consider their two topmost European championships, the UEFA Champions League and then the Nations League. And there was one particular player who was so instrumental, Rodri. Why is he not even in the top three? That raises a lot of questions about UEFA themselves. And that is why there are times I think that
Who do you
Rodri
think
should be in there.
ahead of who?
Rodri should be in there. Who is it there? There is Haaland.
Ahead of KDB.
KDB. What did Kevin De Bruyne do this season? Sincerely, how
are
instrumental
you
was he? If you
Are you
put,
sure about
if you
this,
want to
Kelvin?
use the World Cup to justify,
I'm not saying I'm
wait. If
talking
you
about
want
the
to
World
use the winning the World Cup to justify Messi's inclusion, I think Kylian Mbappe, aside no winning the World Cup, did fantastically, equally, or probably better than what Messi provided. And in the league,
better
Messi,
than what?
Wait.
How was Mbappe
Wait,
better than Messi in the World Cup?
wait, going by their statistics, and even in the league, Mbappe was voted the best player in that league, that particular league.
When the two of them met, the tiebreaker was the World Cup. If Mbappe won the World Cup, he'll be here.
And the tiebreaker individually.
Football is margins.
Individually, who scored the most goals in that final?
Who was the best player in the World Cup?
Who scored the most goals?
Who was
in that
the best-
finale? You are talking
was
about
the
when
best
they
player?
when they met, and that was the grand finale.
Who was
If you
the
think
best
you were
player?
a man,
We
if you
are
think
not going to end this conversation.
you could have showed that prowess in there, and that is why I
he
think
showed the
that.
prowess and won
That
it.
is
So
why
who
I
is the
think
man?
that. That is why I think that if you ever want to base this award on just it's more like a popularity contest now. Sincerely,
If it was a popularity contest, Rodri will be in there.
No.
Rodri was the most popular.
You put
Rodri
Messi,
was the most
you put
popular
Messi,
Man City.
No. You put Messi and Rodri, and you
Rodri
think
was the
Rodri
most
will win the
popular Man
popularity
City
contest. It will never happen.
Getting to the end of the season, Rodri was the most popular man. Look, this guy scored in the winner of the UEFA Champions, what's they call it? The Nations League. This guy scored Champions League. He was on a roll. Premier League, he was scoring. It was about popularity. Everyone would have
Popularity, Messi is there.
He's not. Rodri is not that kind of person.
Yeah.
If Haaland had scored those goals consistently,
Exactly.
everyone would have said Haaland
Exactly.
wins the
No,
Ballon d'Or
I'm talking about popularity in the context of the season.
of the season, right?
That look, the way both of them ended the season, if it was just about popularity and not true contributions. I'm even looking at the Man City players. Messi, I think he's untouchable in that top team because of the World Cup.
and we can only blame Kolomwani for that.
If Mbappe scored, he would be there instead of. I just think
Mbappe
it's
scored 3 times.
if Mbappe,
Three
like
times
France
in the
won the World
final.
Cup, Mbappe will be there
And
ahead
he
of
scored
Messi.
a penalty.
That's how football is.
So, I mean, we've
But to be honest, me, I'll vote for Haaland.
So-
If I was voting,
okay.
I'll vote for Haaland.
But you think Messi wins?
But I think Messi wins, and I explained why.
Okay.
Haaland should have ended the season better.
Listo, who do you think wins? Haaland, Messi, and then Kevin
Obviously,
De Bruyne.
Messi will win, but I would have loved.
Haaland to win.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know the funny thing too about these voters,
yeah.
in their head they'll be like, "Oh, Messi is about to retire.
Yes.
He's won the World Cup. Haaland has many more years. He'll compete. Look,
Yeah.
it's human nature. That's what they'll consider all of those things.
Kelvin, who would you vote for?
Oh, I'll vote for Haaland.
You vote for Haaland. Yeah, but you see, mine is that I can't look at Haaland and Messi in an award competition and vote for Haaland. No.
Yesterday, for instance,
No, it won't happen.
the guy could not control a
Yeah,
ball.
it won't happen.
See,
It won't happen.
the truth is that
the
and
thing-
we have to face the truth.
Yeah.
If you want to look, you can be the best scorer. You can score goals. You can do your job very well. But I feel to be the best player, you need to be
more than-
unique.
do
You
other
need to
things.
do
Yeah,
something
you
that
do
other
other
people
things.
cannot do.
Thank you very much.
I
Yeah.
don't think I see that in
This is
Haaland.
one
He,
that-
he
yeah,
scores at an extraordinary rate, but
Yeah.
basically that's his job.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't do anything on the
Yeah.
pitch out. Whoa,
I agree.
that guy is
I
the
agree.
best.
Haaland is the Pushkas of our generation. I agree. I agree. But yeah, that's just about how we wrap up the show. But before we do, producer, do you have predictor? I don't know if you have. predictor.
Yes. We have the predictor.
Bill,
We have the
producer,
predictor.
you have the predictor.
Yes, the predictor. Yes.
Okay, so let's just check out the predictor before we go, as we have just about 2 minutes to.
All right,
wrap up.
yes, let's
I think
roll
we've,
through the
we've,
predictor.
we've gone through our time, but we
Yeah.
just have to go through predictor before we go. And you're still listening to Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7.
All right.
You're watching us on Facebook as well. We are there. And oh my God,
Is that from last week?
This one
Yeah, yes, last
this
week.
one
All
last
right.
week. This one last week.
Okay.
So last week I predicted a 3-0 win for Man United. And it didn't happen. It was a 1-0 win.
Oh, but at least he won.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And then England beating Australia.
2 correct.
Yeah, correct. Man City beating Sevilla. Correct as well. But
Penalty win. Yeah.
the margin. Yeah.
2.5.
And then Spurs United. And then Manchester City. Newcastle as well.
So 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, yeah. 3 out of 5.
Aniela
3-1 Wolves. I mean, it's okay. Aniela predicted Australia beating England.
Yeah, wow.
that was wrong.
Exactly. City also beating Sevilla. Correct. United beating Spurs didn't happen. And then Newcastle beating City didn't happen. Yeah,
Against
Let's move on to the next. Kelvin says, hey,
are we looking at
this is the new one.
This is the new one. This is the one for this week.
All right. So let's
can we
wait
get
and
the
see.
old one?
Yes. Okay. If the old one is not ready, let's go to the.
Bill, if the old one is not ready, we can move on to the next one. Is it ready? Okay. So Man City United Wolves 2-0. Okay, good. England
not bad.
winning. Oh, that's 4. That's 4. That's 4.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's only Manchester United who disappointed me.
Okay, Oreku's okay.
This week I'll go chop fly.
Oreku also said 3-0 United Wolves. He wins. England correct. City correct.
The England is a correct score.
Yeah.
Oh no, 3-1.
Manchester United boys are
United. Okay, but no. So that's
4.
4.
Yeah, so we
The United in spirit was 2-2.
Yeah.
If Bruno
Bill,
has scored the header.
All right, so this week.
Bill, where's yours? Okay. Anyway, so this week I've predicted Arsenal to beat Crystal Palace 3-2. Madrid beating Celta Vigo 4-1. Dreams beating Milo FC 2-1. And then Mediama beating Remo Stars. Hey, what was I thinking?
What are you thinking?
The stadium will be packed.
But Newcastle Liverpool 2-2 over the weekend.
Wait, is this for Kelvin?
Yes.
Yeah, this is for Kelvin. And so Kelvin has predicted 3-1 Arsenal, 2-1 Real Madrid Celta Vigo, 2-1 Dreams Milo, Remo Stars 1-2. That's Mediama beating Remo Stars in Nigeria, and then Newcastle United Liverpool playing out a 1-1 draw. So we'll see how that goes.
2-2.
Oreku says 2-1 to Arsenal tomorrow in that game against Palace, and then Real Madrid beating Celta Vigo 3-1. Dreams to beat Milo FC 2-0. Remo Stars to beat Mediama 2-0.
I'm on Niger.
No, I see you didn't go with sentiments on this one. And then Newcastle also in there. Bill says 2-0 to Arsenal tomorrow, and then Celta de Vigo also losing to Real Madrid 2-0. Dreams 2-1 to Milo FC, 1-1 Mediama Remo Stars, 1-1 Liverpool and Newcastle United. So those are the predictions, and the final one, Aniela says 2-1 Arsenal Crystal Palace. Celta Vigo 1.
Joseph Edu header.
Celta Vigo 1 Real Madrid 0. That's from Aniela. Dreams FC also 1-0 against Milo FC. Mediama beating Remo Stars away from home. And then Newcastle United, Liverpool 1-1. And so next week we'll bring you the action from there as well, how we predicted, how the matches went, and then we can have a bigger conversation on that. Thank you so much for joining us. This 3FM 92.7. Keep your dial right here. Thank you for joining us, Listo Mensah of Angel Sports. Listo, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Kelvin, thank you as well. Thank you to Aniela. Thank you, Orekwampo, for my producers at the back, Prosper Kuzo and Bele Shen. Thank you guys also for listening and always supporting. And make sure that you go back to Facebook, you replay it, and listen and enjoy. Keep supporting 3FM 92.7. We'll see you again next week with another exciting edition.